YouTube and see if it picks us up.
I am. I got it up. It says waiting for God and Guns, so.
All right, welcome back to episode 256 of the Guy and Guns podcast. I'm your host, Troy.
And I'm your host, Doug.
We use this podcast to talk about God, guns, and the responsible Christian gun owners' interest. On this week's show, we'll be talking with Chris and Ronnie of Night Crew TV.
The Sportsman's channel.
On the Sportsman's channel. Yep. I want to thank our band with sponsor Farms Radio Network. We appreciate them sponsoring our show so that we can have all those shows out there for you guys to download at your convenience. Also,
crossbreed holsters. Hey, you were talking about if you're carrying a holster in your truck, got one next to your bed, got one on your person, or your wife carries in the pocketbook. Crossbreed makes a holster for you. Go check our buddies out, crossbreedholsters.com. Carry the cross.
Also, don't forget PowerTech lights.
PowerTech lights. Hey, I just got the new in from the promo that we've been running with PowerTech. This is a new E5, and we're going to talk tonight about how you're going to get to win this for free. So we'll give you some details a little later in the show on that, but check our buddies out, PowerTech.com. Also, our affiliate sponsor, you guys have been doing a great job. Palmetto State Armory. We've been selling, you guys have been buying a lot of stuff, and Palmetto State has been selling a lot of stuff. But you're using the affiliate link, and we sure appreciate that because everything that you spend through our link, Palmetto State shows us a little love back and just helps out our show, and we appreciate it.
All right, Doug, we're going to go ahead and start off with the Night Crew. We're going to bring them in, and since they're here already waiting in the wings, so I'll let you do their introductions, Doug.
All right. Well, tonight we're glad to have Chris and Ronnie on the show from Night Crew TV on the Sportsman's channel. And I was talking to Ronnie yesterday, the day before when I got a hold of him, and he actually told me that this is like their fourth season. So you can go check a bunch of their videos and stuff out on YouTube that are out there. But this is your first show. This is your first season on Sportsman's channel, correct?
No, this is our fourth season.
This is your fourth season?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, I got to go back and look because my DVR only shows y'all having one season on there, so I got to go find the other episodes. But you guys do predator hunting nighttime, which everybody knows that watches our show knows that's near and dear to my heart because I like to shoot pigs and stuff at night, and you guys come up with some new and creative ways to do it, and it's fun to watch.
It's fun to do.
We appreciate you guys for watching.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So you guys are hunting hogs out in Texas, so you got a lot more opportunity than what I have in Georgia. But you guys, tell me a little bit about. We'll start out on the gun side first. What do you guys like to shoot them with? Because you shoot a lot of coyotes, you shoot bobcats, and you shoot hogs and stuff. So what do you shoot them with?
Take this one. Primarily, we kind of, I guess, in the last 3 or 4 years since we've been running a lot of thermal, we've come just about as big a pig hunters as we were just coyote hunters, you know. And one of the things that we've really tried to do is just stick with obviously the AR platforms and stuff for all the pigs, but primarily our go-to gun, believe it or not, on the hogs is a 6.5 Grendel. We try to stick with that and just try to shoot bullets that are heavy enough to knock them down, to be able to put as many on the ground as we can. But the coyotes and the cat are go-to guns, the 243. A lot of guys, they see that as overkill for a coyote, but we found shooting the right rounds with it. Primarily, it'll usually anchor them if you hit them good with hardly any damage if you're shooting the right bullet at them. We actually just built a brand new 243 this year. We've killed thus far, I think, almost 90 coyotes with it, with hardly any damage on them so far this season. Yeah. But we try to stay away from the heavier bullets on the coyotes, and primarily that's just because most of them we're filming, and we want that bullet to stay in them to where when we hit them, it'll put them down, and they're not running off when you're trying to get footage and stuff of them. So that's the main reason why we like the 243 for the coyotes and the cats. But the hogs, you really kind of need a little bit bigger bullet than what we're running out of that 243. So
I was telling Ronnie, I shoot just about everything. And I showed you guys my gun just a few minutes ago before we started going live. But I shoot everything with a 223 or 5.56. But I shoot that horny varmint, the red tip in 55 grain. And
right.
Very seldom do I ever have one run off.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
A lot of it too, as you know, is where you hit them. If you make a bad shot, they're going to run.
Oh yeah,
so
for sure.
Shot placement is the key, and it's funny you say 6.5 Grendel, because I have a buddy of mine that shoots one, and he's been trying to get me to go ahead and get an upper for one of my ARs and start shooting it as well. But
right.
yeah, I may have to break down. I was looking at Palmetto State today, Troy, and they actually have one out there. So
there you go.
Yeah,
waiting for you. It's out there waiting for you.
That's it. Hey, we sponsor our show too, right? Everything we buy.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, well, so I was watching the episode. My wife and I were down in Panama City this past week, so I didn't get to see the show live. So when I got home, I had it DVR, and I was watching your show this past week. And what made me reach out was a story that you guys told about Ronnie on the show and what had happened with him. And Ronnie, you want to kind of give us tell us what happened.
You just want the full story?
Sure. Yeah, give it to us.
I'll try my best to retell it like I did on the show. But September 3rd, 1999, I was 16 years old, sophomore in high school. It was the first football game of the season. We was playing another town not far from us, and it was the second quarter of the game. The first quarter was playing, everything was normal, and second quarter rolls around, and I was running the football on offense. And anyhow, we ran the play, and I was supposed to run the ball up the middle. Anyways, the quarterback hands me the ball, and I take off up the middle where the play gets busted up. So I run out to the right side. Well, as I'm running, I see the guy coming to tackle me. So, your first instinct's running back, to cover up the football, and I was gonna take the hit to him. Well, I run up there, and he hits me, and I hit him. And I don't remember if I think I must have blacked out. But whenever I came to, I couldn't feel my body or move anything. I was totally paralyzed from my neck down. And anyways, I was laying there thinking, what in the world is going on? I was trying to tell myself to get up, and there wasn't any getting up. I didn't have anything to get up with. I couldn't feel anything or move anything. At that point, honestly, God, I thought I was dying. And my first response is, of course, I knew I was in trouble. So my first response was to cry out to God for help. So that was my words or my prayer, or whatever you want to call it. I was please God help me, because I didn't know what else to do at that point. And that was probably the most sincere prayer I've ever prayed in my life, because I knew that I needed His help more than anybody that was going to come out on the field at that time. But anyhow, they the coaches or whatnot, they would come over, and of course I was laying there, wasn't getting up, and asked me what was wrong, what was going on, so I just told them I can't feel my body, I can't move. So of course the paramedics come out there, and they get me loaded up and take me to the hospital in an ambulance. And from there, they evaluate me or whatnot, and basically they determined what had happened was at that point, without doing a whole lot of imaging, of course they thought I had broke my neck, I completely broke it. So they shot me full of steroids, so if there was any swelling or whatnot, it would start taking the swelling down. And they carefulized me to they took me to Parkland in Fort Worth, and they did a bunch of imaging and whatnot. But basically, what happened is where your spinal cord runs in your spinal column. Whenever I got hit, it shifted and it pinched my spinal cord. And when it pinched it, it swelled up. And when it swelled up, is why I lost all of my feeling and all of my movement. And that was at C2, and my C5 vertebrae, I fractured it. But anyways, I was in the hospital for a couple months learning how to walk again and reuse my arms and my legs and all of that good stuff. But that was the extent of the injury part.
So how long were you paralyzed for?
I was totally paralyzed for probably 3 weeks. And then, whenever the swelling and stuff started going down, I started getting back and some of my movement.
Mm-hmm. Holy cow. I didn't realize it was that long. That was a long time.
But
so how long was your recovery time as far as until you got full movement and stuff back again?
When I got hurt on September 3rd and I got out of the hospital at the end of October, when I walked out of the hospital at that point, but I still did a lot of outpatient therapy for months and months. I mean, it took me a good while to get most of everything back. But,
I think one thing on the show that got my attention, even one of my buddies that was watching, he and I were talking today, was one of the things that you had said about a doctor's visit. You had went back and
I tell you that story. It's actually probably one of the coolest things that I experienced from the whole deal. But this was 20 years later. It was actually, when was this, Chris? Back during the summertime. This summer, I had to go see a new neurologist. And anyways, when I went to see him, he wanted to do some imaging of my neck and my back just to see what was going on, because he had never seen me before. Anyways, I go do the imaging, and I go back for my results. And anyways, I go in and I sit down, and I shake his hand, whatever, and he's like, "Man, Ronnie, they did a very good job fixing your injury." And I thought, well, all right. Well, a few years ago, I say a few years ago, it was 3 or 4 years ago, they had to take out that C5 and replace it with a fake one. So I said, "So you're talking about where they did my disc replacement?" And he said, "No, where you had your original injury, they did a phenomenal job fixing it." I didn't. I've almost learned with the doctors. I just tell them what they need to know, and that's about it. Nothing more. Anyways, I said, "All right, that's cool. I appreciate it." And he sent me on my way. Well, the next day I was working, and I was just thinking about different stuff, and it dawned on me. I was like, "Man, Ronnie, he said they did a phenomenal job fixing that." So, and I didn't tell him that. I never had any original surgeries. Whenever I had the original injury, they didn't do any kind of surgeries, or they didn't go back in there and fix anything. So it just hit me like a ton of bricks who they were that doctor was talking about. And it was no doubt God. I have no doubt in my mind. And of course, I'm sitting there working, crying like a big old baby, trying to hide my face. Nobody drives by and thinks I was stupid or something. But anyways, at that point, because I already knew, because there's a lot of people that have a lot of bad injuries, and there's people that came to see me when I was in the hospital, and they rolled in there in wheelchairs, that had very, very similar injuries. And I don't think I'm any more special than them people were, or anything like that. I don't know why God chose to lead me down that path, or why, any of it happened for that reason. But that verified for no doubt in my mind that it was definitely the healing of God's hands of why I got back what I got back. So,
well, I can tell you right now that I personally believe God puts things in your life, my life, Troy's life, Chris's life. It may be 20 years down the road, but it could affect somebody now listening to the story that you had about your faith and God healing you. And I think that was one of the reasons I wanted to get you on the show, was because something was telling me that somebody that watches our show could benefit by listening to that story. So
yes, and that was one of the big deals why me and Chris wanted to do the show on Night Crew, to begin with, is hopefully try to help somebody out there, that might be struggling with whatever, it doesn't have to be a spinal cord injury. It could be cancer, whatever, we wanted to show people that, not to give up, and just have faith and continue to fight. And you never know what your outcome is going to be. But that was a big reason why we wanted to do it, and we feel like that message has been received by people. So we're glad that we did that.
I know it touched me when I was watching the show that night, and like I said, some of my buddies that have watched the show since then have called me and told me the exact same thing. And Troy and I, we deal with a lot of veterans organizations that watch and stuff, and we're part of Antarius Alliance, which is a lot of veterans, and they do a lot of stuff for disabled vets. And we had one. Troy, what was the girl's name that was on the show with us that time that was doing the wheelchairs?
Wheelchairs for Warriors.
Wheelchairs for Warriors.
Yeah.
People that were coming back in the military that had been hurt. They got them all kinds of wheelchairs. For people that were completely paralyzed. And had to have it. But somebody out there, I just felt somebody needed to hear that story about, you didn't give up. And, your dad was on the show talking about it. And he was talking about you were his hero with your faith and your determination to get better. Yeah,
my dad pushed me through that therapy, man. Whenever I would have down days or bad days, whatever, he pretty much slapped me around and said, you're going to keep going, man. He got me through a lot of that as well. So I owe him a tremendous thank you on all of that. So, but they did tell my parents, it was probably about the second or third day of all that. They just forewarned them, look, y'all may need to go home and start preparing your house for him to be in a wheelchair. And, he may never be normal again. And, man, I wasn't going to personally accept that, and I didn't like those words whenever they said that, and tell you guys on the truth, it scared me, and I took that as motivation, and that's not going to happen. So and I feel like that's probably half of the battle. I feel in any bad situation anybody has, or to me it was almost not a competition, but it was I don't know what the word would be.
Drove you probably.
Sheer determination.
It was determination of I was not going to let that happen. Whatever it took. And I feel like any kind of diagnosis, like I said, cancer diagnosis, anything, half the battle is the attitude or your mindset that you're going to go in it with. If you go in defeated, you're already defeated. And I just feel like if people would, just get ready to fight, you can't go in defeated. So
I was, just to interject myself, when it came, Ronnie approached me and was like, hey, would you want to possibly do a show about this? And I thought about it and I'm like, absolutely. Because to me personally, his story is too powerful for people to not hear it. And whenever I was actually editing the show, I was working on it and I'm like, hey, the hunting part was really kind of secondary to the money. If you really think about it, if you go back and look at it,
right.
And we were thinking when we first did it, we were like, okay, well, if this can just help one single person, that may be going through something, I kept telling myself and I kept feeling this burden. It was like, okay, there's got to be somebody out there that needs to hear this. And we were hoping that maybe just one person would respond and say, hey, we caught the show and we were really touched by it. But in fact, within 30 minutes, probably within 30 minutes or an hour of the show airing, there was like 7 or 8 people that were sending us messages saying that we cannot believe that we caught this show at this time because we're going through this or that in their life. One guy, the first guy that sent us a message, he said that he usually watches the show by himself after he sends the wife and the kids to bed so he can kind of enjoy the show by himself with no distractions, And he said for whatever reason on this particular night, the kids and mama and him stayed up to watch it, and they turned it on. And he said as soon as they turned it on, they knew immediately that they were supposed to be sitting there watching that show, because this lady's 34 years old and she was just diagnosed with cancer at 34 years of age. And he said that when they saw this show and they saw what happened and they got to hear Ronnie's stories, basically they looked at each other and they knew immediately that, this is God saying, hey, I'm still here, I'm still real, and he's still just as much of a healer as he was a long time ago. He's still just as real and as powerful today as he was, back then. So
Amen.
I feel blessed. I know Ronnie feels blessed to just be able to be the messenger in this deal. Our whole goal was to try to help and motivate, at least one person, and we've far succeeded that. And for us, it's just about being able to, at least we've got the opportunity to have a platform that reaches, millions of people, and they all got to see that, and they got to hear what happened in his life, and for us, that's a blessing.
Yep.
And Chris and I didn't want the show to be about me or him or anything. We wanted it to glorify God. So that was our main objective, and to help somebody through that message. So we feel like that was done. So that so.
Well, that's awesome, because it's hard to find that these days on TV shows and stuff you watch. That's why, like I said, when I watched it, it was speaking to me the whole time I was watching it. And like you was just sitting there talking. My wife hardly ever sits and watch hunting shows with me, and we got back and we started watching it together, and she was watching it with me, and I said, man, I got to reach out to this guy. And she's like, yeah, you do. She said he'd be a perfect person to get on the show. I was like, yep, he would. And lo and behold, God put us together, man. There was a reason.
Yes, sir.
Neither of us proclaim to be the model saints. We're by no means, like, we all have our faults and fall short,
That's right.
When you have something, to me, the way I was looking at it is, we got to share something that's special with people that may need that just a little bit of an encouragement to change the path in their life. And that so far, if you could see some of the messages we've got since that show aired, it's overwhelming. It's caught me completely off guard, because I thought we'd have a few people that really enjoyed it, but I never really grasped the fact that I really feel like God was using us to help other people. I don't know how to explain it than that, but that's just the way we feel about it. So,
it's like I say all the time on the show, God uses us despite of us.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Troy, do you have anything you wanted to?
No, I was curious, what kind of gear you guys would recommend if someone wanted to start out night hunting? What's the basics that you need to start out with? I know Doug has talked a little bit about it, but you guys have been at it a little bit longer than he has. So you didn't talk about the rifle. So what kind of night vision? Would you go straight to thermal if you could afford it, or would you start out with some kind of night vision?
Oh man, we just started out with just lights for years and years and years. But personally, if it was me, if I could afford it, I would go straight to thermal. I personally have not used night vision very much, but once you use thermal, man, you're hooked.
I'm the kind of guy too that if I have to wait an extra year to afford a thermal unit versus spending that much money on a night vision, the way I look at it is like I would have to wait that much longer to get thermal. And by the time you get it, if you get thermal and you spent your money on night vision, you'll regret buying the night vision once you've actually seen what you can do with it. And that's the God's honest truth. It's so much more effective, and you can pick up animals so much further out there. We've got one unit that we can see. We can see coyotes at literally thousands of yards with it. And night vision, you just can't do that. That's just the difference between the two.
What do you guys shoot? You run, I think Ronnie said you shoot Trigicons, and you got a couple different ones you like.
The one that we have on our 243 is called a Pulsar Thermion. I'm not sure exactly which model it is. They have a couple of different ones, but it's really awesome. I mean, we've got it dialed in right now where we can with that 243 we can shoot coyotes literally at 300 yards with it, and it just dumps them. I mean, with lights you can't really do that. I mean, you can to an extent, but it's just different when you can see them good enough with thermal out there to effectively kill them. To me, that's hard to beat. But on the Grendel, on our pig gun, we're shooting a Trigicon Reap, 35 millimeter, and it's really, really nice.
Has it got the zoom and stuff on it? A buddy of mine just bought. He just put a A10 Thor on his. It's a lower end. It's not a Trigicon, obviously, but it works. It works pretty well.
Yeah, you don't have to have a $10,000 thermal to be effective and be able to go out and kill coyotes and pigs. It's, yeah, there's some high end ones out there that are really nice, but that you don't have to have that to be able to go and be successful doing it. But the Reap's got an 8x zoom. It goes from basically 2x, 4x to 8x, but it's all a digital zoom. It's not like a true optical zoom what you would have in like a normal scope or anything like that. But I usually, when we shoot it, we'll shoot it on like a 2 or 4x, and it's plenty clear enough to where you can still see exactly where you're hitting them and stuff too. So if I were just getting into it and I'm just, a guy that's just really kind of starting to try to get his feet wet into thermal, I would look at all the Pulsar stuff. Like their XQ, they got one called their XQ50. Really kind of all depends on what you're wanting to use it for. But one of our sponsors is a company called Ultimate Night Vision. And that's how we got in the thermal scene, was through a guy named Tyler Adair. He's the owner of Ultimate Night Vision. He's the one that helps us with, finding the right equipment and stuff like that. We're very fortunate to have him as one of our sponsors because we get a lot of neat toys and stuff to mess around with. So,
there's nothing wrong with that.
What's that?
I'm going to break down and get a thermal eventually.
You have to quit buying ARs.
That's hard to do too.
Say, baby, how's your credit?
I know, right? Yeah, I was telling you guys earlier, the night vision stuff. Hogs can see that IR. When I hit them with the IR light, the illuminator, it'll spook them. They see it, but that thermal, man, there's nothing there for them.
Must be all them peanuts they're eating.
Yeah,
helping with their vision.
They got that night vision going on. Pigs ain't stupid, man. People think they are, but they're not.
I don't think they're stupid. They can smell good. I know that.
Yeah, they can. They don't see real well, but man, they can smell you in a second if they get the right wind on them. You got to get the right wind when you sneak up on them. And on your show the other night, I thought that was funny because when you guys are recording, what kind of thermal are you looking at? Because you'll see you or Ronnie or whoever's walking out in front of you, you'll be looking at them with a thermal on the cameras and videoing them. And I mean, it's like
that's a Reap.
Is it?
Yeah, that's a Reap that you're actually what you see on the show. The thermal footage you actually see on the show. That's a Reap. It's kind of confusing that we kind of got a roundabout way we actually get the footage and stuff from it, but it's the clearest one that we found to give us the best image quality. Once it goes from here all the way to the network, that's the cleanest and clearest video that we've been able to find. So we've stuck with it since we started really doing a whole lot of thermal stuff. But if you'd have asked us 5 years ago if we would be chasing pigs all over the county, I'd have probably told no. But when we met Tyler, it was like us a completely different side of night hunting that we never even really knew existed. And now it's like, because of the fact of what we know about thermal, we never leave the house or we never make a stand calling coyotes or bobcats without thermal and lights usually running on all of our stands, because there's a lot of cases where a coyote or something may be way out there past where that light can see, and the guy that's sitting there holding the thermal picks him up, say, hey, there's one coming right over here, and then the light guy puts the light in that direction, and you're a whole lot, you can detect them a whole lot faster, especially in big openings and stuff like some of the places that we hunt around here. But the thermal for us was a complete game changer. I mean, absolutely. I mean, there's absolutely no doubt whatsoever that it's helped us put more coyotes and stuff in the truck than we ever did before with the light.
So do you hunt with helicopters with thermal on them yet? With the
No.
Haven't gone
control?
Haven't gone there yet.
So I have a friend of mine that's here that lives in Georgia. They'll go out night hunting and they don't get out of the truck. They'll stick one of those little helicopter things out of the window and let it take off, and it's running thermal. And they'll fly it out over the peanut fields and look. If they don't see nothing, they'll fly it back.
Drone?
Drones.
Yeah, we've run the drones before. Tyler's got a thermal drone. We fly it quite a bit, but I thought you were talking about shooting them out of a helicopter.
Oh no.
Yeah, we've flown a lot of drones and stuff with him. I mean, it's fun. There's really not a whole lot more that we can do with the drone than we can do just cruising around most of the times with the thermal that we have. But it can definitely save you some time if you're on a big ranch and you just want to find big groups of them without having to spend several hours looking for them,
Mm-hmm.
But thermal is definitely something that if you're looking to up your night hunting game, thermal is the ticket. I mean, it's just so much more effective. I mean, before we were kind of the opinion that we could kill more with lights, which I still think in certain scenarios for filming for us, we still prefer the lights because we can get really, really clean, good, crisp video and stuff of them. The thermals, it's decent, but it hadn't quite caught up quality-wise, which we're working on some stuff now to do that. But bottom line is if you're a guy that likes to hunt at night, a thermal will definitely, I mean, it'll blow your mind. Once you actually get a chance to use it in complete darkness to walk up on pigs or whatever you like to hunt and be able to effectively kill them without ever turning the light on, it's so much fun.
Hey, so you bring up the light thing, and I want to ask you this because after watching the show, I was like, I'm going to ask them. So you guys are running, what is it, Wicked Lights, I think it is?
Yes.
So those things are bright. Do they not spook coyotes and hogs and stuff when you hit them with those big old bright lights?
I'm explaining this one.
I mean, it's really all in the way that you run the light. Whenever we set up on a stand, we're scanning with the light and we turn it. It's got a rheostat on it. So whenever you're scanning, you just scan with the light just dim enough or just bright enough where you can just catch their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever we get them coming, once they're committed, then we'll turn the brightness up on them. But once you get the animal accustomed to it, yeah, we do have some coyotes that will spook or whatnot. But as long as you run that light right, 9 times out of 10, you can get them.
Yeah, we found too that in most cases, if you're calling unpressured animals, like if you're in places where that the coyotes are fresh, there hasn't been somebody calling them up and hitting them with lights and whatnot, that most of the times the ones that you get to respond, if they're gonna booger, it's usually gonna be from our headlamp and not long before we ever even get those big lights on. And that's a lot of things, guys, people don't understand. They watch the show and they see an animal coming into this big bright white light. We don't shine that way. When we're shining, the light's just bright enough just to detect a set of eyeballs out there. And usually the coyotes that have seen it and they're smart to it, you'll hit them with that headlamp and you'll see eyes for about 2 seconds. And then they'll bow face and take off back where they come from. And nowadays, since we have thermal, we can see exactly what they do when that happens. But it's usually either all in or all out. And especially with coyotes, the ones that are uneducated, we found that when you hit them with that Scan Pro, just the scanning light, if they're not educated and they're liking it, they'll usually keep coming. They'll be trotting in, coming to the call, and usually when you hit them with it, they'll keep coming like that light's not even there. And those are the ones that we're looking for, because those are the ones we can burn them down and light them up like a football field, and literally have them come right up to us, you know. And we'll shoot coyotes and cats less than 10 yards from us with that just super, super bright light on them. But there's not a whole lot of in between is what I'm getting at. So usually once we get them past this light, the rest is usually pretty easy going after that. It's just getting them past this one, because coyotes know if they're being hit with some kind of a light source. I don't care if it's green, red, yellow, white, whatever color it may be. If they've been called up or spotlighted somehow and been shot at or smelled a person and associate that with that light, they remember the next time you call them up and hit them with that light. So most of the times when people call us having those kind of problems, the best way to combat that or basically to overcome that is not to try to keep calling that same coyote up with a light. It's either run thermal, hunt them during the day, or go find another coyote that hadn't seen it. Because you'll beat yourself up trying to call up a coyote and hit him with the light. And it doesn't matter how good a caller you are, how good a shot you are, or how good you are at getting that animal in front of you. If they've seen that light, you can forget it. I mean, most of the time, they're not going to put up with being hit with it and keep coming to it like they were, you know, the first time you might have called them up, you know, a month or two prior to that.
They get those college educations pretty quick, don't they?
Oh, yeah. You know, so there's a lot of advantages to having the thermal. But as far as running lights and running thermals and all of that, if I was just getting into night hunting, if your state will allow it, and you know you've got kind of a tight budget, you don't have to spend a bunch of money to go and have fun night hunting. All you need is a call, a light to shine with, and a light to kill with, and that's it. And you could take for I don't know how many years before we started filming, we would go out and tape a flashlight to a shotgun, and that's how we
really.
Oh yeah, I mean, and we killed a bunch of stuff doing that, you know. So you don't have to have a bunch. You don't have to have a bunch of high-dollar equipment to be able to go and enjoy the sport, you know, at night. It's fun having it, but you don't have to.
Well, good deal. Well, cool, man. Y'all want to name your sponsors while we get you on the show?
I think I'll name your sponsors.
Oh, yeah, we got really good sponsors. Fox Pro Game Calls, Ultimate Night Vision, company called Zero Delta. They make some of the mounts that come with a lot of the thermals and stuff. US Optics, All Predator Calls, Wicked Lights, and there's a company called Recon that makes a tripod that if you're somebody that does a lot of walking into places using like saddles and stuff like that, man, we had never really used one until this year, and that thing is awesome. And you can tighten that gun down, and you just let it sit there, and you can walk away from it if you want to do. That's pretty much it.
Well, good deal. Troy, you got anything else?
No, I'm just glad to be here. Our internet keeps crashing, and
we lost Troy there for a minute.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming on and sharing your story. That's always great to hear. It's a good testimony. So we appreciate you guys coming sharing that with us tonight.
What's your night and time y'all air your show on Sportsman's channel?
It'll be a Monday night, so it'll be the original air date at 6:30 Central Time. We have
6:30 Central.
Four more.
Yeah, there's actually, like I said, there's 4 more left for this season. Usually it's 13 episodes, and then they rerun the 13, and there's still four that have not aired yet for the year. We've actually got some cool shows coming up. Next week's still a pretty cool show, but the 2 after that actually involves catching coyotes with eagles at night.
Really?
Yeah. That's a whole other story. So you make sure you got your DVR set.
That'll be good.
It's a guy that he actually flies golden eagles and what's called the African crowned eagle at night from a UTV and catches black-tailed jackrabbits and
Wow.
Believe it or not. So it's It's far out there, so it's some pretty insane stuff. Matter of fact, if you go on our YouTube channel, there's a link on there that's called Rousey. That's his crowned eagle. There's another one called Pandora. That's his golden eagle. Go and watch those two. They're actually the teaser opens for these shows coming up here in a couple weeks. And you guys will be like, "What in the world is this?" So,
That sounds like a cool show. Well, guys, we appreciate you guys coming on the show and Ronnie sharing your story with us, and we appreciate that very much.
We appreciate the opportunity.
oh yeah,
All right, guys, well, y'all have a good night and good hunting.
we're fixing to go right now.
All right.
Have a good hunt.
Good luck.
Yes.
Be careful.
All right.
Good night. Thanks. All right. That was cool.
Yeah.
Our internet was a little flaky, so they said their internet was pretty slow, so that's why they were digitizing and robot voices and all that stuff. I don't know what happened on my end. I had 4 technicians at my house today working for about 2 to 3 hours, probably 3.5 hours, trying to debug the internet issues, and then all of a sudden I just go boop, and I'm gone. I'm so mad. All right.
Bernie Sanders got to you again.
Back to the show. Hey, Marty's over there. Marty, left hand, is just said hello. So we appreciate. Okay, they just left the house. Okay, just making sure. So where were we at? This week's guiding activities. Doug, what have you been up to?
Let's see. What have I done? I've been doing my Sportsman's Daily Devotional. Wendy and I were down in Panama City this weekend, and I got to go to a gun show down there, and they had the North Florida Gun and Knife Show. So Saturday we rolled in town, went down there for a little bit, and actually found a gun that I almost bought. Wendy even authorized it. Said, "You already get it?" And I'm like, a little too much. PTR 601 had the brace already on it and stuff. It looks just like a MP5 is what it looks like, but it was just more than I wanted to spend on one. I'm like, no, I'll pass on that. So didn't do that, but we hung out down in Florida, had a good time. I did get my optic in that I was waiting on. I got the SIG Romeo 5.
Oh yeah, you said you've been waiting on that.
I did. I've been waiting on it. That's her right there. And this thing is actually cool. I was actually playing with the feature on it where it actually, if it doesn't move for a couple minutes, it actually goes off. So they advertise a 50,000 hour battery life on it. And I was messing around with it. I'd watch it and I'd have it up where I could see the dot in it, and then I wouldn't move it for a couple minutes, and then it would just go off. And man, you can touch it. You can just pick the gun up, anything, and that joker comes right back on, and it's set at the same setting you was on. So it's pretty cool. I'm going to run it and see how I like it. I got to get it sighted in. I might go to the range this weekend possibly and do a little shooting. But other than that, I didn't do a whole lot other than vacation this weekend.
Well, good.
Some much needed time out. Oh, I did get. So this is the light with the AR mount for the Picatinny rail mount and the pressure switch. It's the E5 tactical long gun kit from PowerTac Lights. And this is, I have one. I'm waiting on a M-lock mount for the side of my AR so I can mount it on there. Cause I didn't like it on the top rail. I didn't like the way it set, so I want to mount it on the side. So I'm waiting on that. It'll be here tomorrow, hopefully. But I got that, and this is one of the lights that we're going to give away on the show. I got this one to give away, and Lane actually sent us another one from PowerTac. I have it sitting right over here by it, and we're going to give that one away too. And it'll come out on our Facebook page probably, and we'll have something for you. You got to do like, share, and share with 3 people. Get them to like the Facebook page, and But we're gonna give away 2 of them. They're actually pretty neat. I had it outside playing with it in the dark the other night when I got home and got it, and they're actually bright. It's 900. Let's see, what is it? 980 lumens. It's got 4 different modes. It's got a low, medium, and a high, and then it's got a strobe mode on it. So it works good.
Cool. Steve said he's still waiting on his power tack.
Hadn't got it yet.
I hope he ain't waiting long. So that got your guide and gun stuff for the week?
It's got me, man. What you been up to?
Daily Bible reading, of course. Had church security. Well, I have church security every Sunday, but I wasn't in the room this Sunday. So I got to hear the sermon, which was good. And got to talk to a lot of the different people there at church, which was great. And one of our members is a state trooper. He came by and was asking about how things were going and was telling us some interesting stories about things that are going on in the neighborhood. So got caught up with him. He's one of the guys that helped me with initially getting the church security plan together. So he's been a good asset. What else have I been up to? I got in a whole box of IPSC target backers, the cardboard ones. I'm planning on shooting up a bunch of those. And I've been picking up some 9mm for a pistol I'm getting ready to start training on. Looking forward to that. What else to do? We're getting ready for upcoming pistol class. I'm reading my notes here so I won't forget anything. Set up target stands. My 2 of my nephews came up Saturday and wanted me to help them learn how to shoot the new rifle. He got a new rifle for Christmas, and his first opportunity he's had to come up on Saturday. So he came and we set up some targets, and Gunner and my 2 nephews. One just got back from the Air Force. He just got out at the end of the year, so he's back home. So he came and he shot his AR and brought some pistols, and so they got to shoot some pistols. They got to shoot the new younger nephew got to shoot his new 308 bolt action. Let's see, what brand was that? It was came with a scope. It's Savage. Savage, yeah. Camo pattern 308 bolt action.
Axis.
Huh?
Is that the Axis?
Probably. Came with a scope and all. We set up rings and bore sight. It was pretty close, man. We didn't have to. I think we had to move it over about 4 inches. We were shooting a 100-yard target, and it was on paper at 100 yards. And so I think we ended up moving it maybe 4.5 inches right and about 3 inches down overall. And then at the end, he was hitting probably a 3-inch group at 100 yards. He's a new shooter, a new rifle shooter, so that wasn't bad. I mean, it's good enough to hit a deer. So I think that's probably what we'll be shooting at. When he shot his last 4 or 5 rounds, he shot a head group. I had a head pattern on the target, and he put all of them inside the center of the head. Within, there's a pattern about that good. On a cold, windy day, shooting in an angle. So you're shooting downhill with probably a 20-mile-an-hour crosswind from right to left, and he held them all in there with the 308. Of course, the 308's a pretty good flat shooting cartridge, so
right.
It'll push through brush and everything too. So it's a good round for deer hunting in Kentucky. Oh, deer hunting anywhere pretty much. 308's a good round, pretty much anywhere in the United States, I think. Unless you got shooting up in the mountains of Montana or something at high elevations for some kind of sheep. That might be pushing it a little bit much, but I like the 308. So they got to shoot some, hung out with them. What else to do on the gun side? I've been working on some stuff for the 3% guys here in Kentucky. I got put on as comms lead for Zone 4, so I've been trying to read all the SOPs for that and get up to speed on what I need to get prepared to make for recommendations for communications for those. Since I apparently am the only ham in our zone that I'm aware of at this point. Going to try to make sure we're all legal and we're not operating on bands we're not supposed to. So that was pretty much the gun side, the God side. I think that's about it. I'm looking forward to getting out that pistol and doing some work. Hoping for some better weather. It's been cold and windy and rainy for the last few days. So hopefully it'll start warming up some. It's like freezing right now. My dungeon down here, or cellar, whatever you want to call it. What do we call it?
The bunker.
The bunker. The bunker is really cold right now. Let's see. Y'all going to NRA Nash Vegas? Yeah, we'll be down there, Marty. He just posted up there. I got a hotel room. I think Doug's got a hotel room. We're going to be there a couple of days. Oh, Wendy's over here posting. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Something about politics. Look at that. Your wife posted politics.
I know, right?
There you go. 3%. That's right, Justin. All right. So we're going to be on to EDC. What are you carrying tonight, Doug?
Oh, usual suspect, man. Glock 19 in the crossbreed holster with my Night Vision Student of the Gun Edition sights on it. Shooting Hornady ammo. What about you? What you got?
Usual Glock 30S. I'm not going to pull it out because she's hot. I got my bunker buster down here. A little shorty AR right here close by, handy. I got some Black Hills 62 grain. Good ammo there. Loaded up in it. And I've got a light kit for this thing that I ordered a while back, and I do not know what I did with it. So I have to find that. I just remembered when I looked down, it didn't have a light on it. But I got a A-post mount for it to hold the light. So I think I got a LZ A-post light mount. So rig that up on there.
I got some flip-up sights coming for Puff 2.0.
Puff 2.0?
Yeah.
That's the one you're going to run the class?
No. Well, I don't know. Maybe. I might. Once I get it sight in and see how that SIG.
See how it groups?
Yeah, see how that Romeo groups. And I like the sight. It's pretty good. So I like it because it's short. So it makes it easy to swing it around. Yeah. But I figure I'd put some flip-up sights on it. I'm going to put some Magpul M-Bus sights on it and see how that works. Get my flashlight mounted to it. That way I can, for the class, if I want to take it off for the class, I can take the flashlight off of it. But I'll probably keep it, in the bedroom or something for just in case.
Cool deal. Marty said they're going to be set up at Celtic. That seems to be where he's at most of the time. So for you guys don't know who David Martin Holder is, he's a Marty or left hand from Talking Lead.
Talking Lead.
You get you a Talking Leg profile, put it on here so we don't give away all your secrets. Yeah, we'll probably be at Crossbreed, and we'll see. Maybe at Palmetto State Armory some too. We'll need to get some dates set up and post those times before we go down there. Mm-hmm. So if you guys want to meet up with us, make sure we'll have a couple places we can meet and greet. Otherwise, we'll be roaming the floors with the rest of you. Hopefully you all are making plans to be in Nashville this year. It's always a fun time to meet up with you guys, see what's going on.
It will be fun.
I can't take it back. I can't take it back, man. It's live. Marty's over saying, shh. Man, you posted. I can't help it. All right, so let's go EDC feedback. I didn't have any feedback, I don't think. Well, go ahead. Let's see. What you got? You got a comedy joke? Go ahead and get the comedy joke. I'll go check my feedback because I forgot to check it before the show.
The comedy corner tonight is the joke is given to God. The junior Sunday school class teacher asked her 8 eager 10-year-olds if they would give $1 million to the ministries. Yes, all of them screamed. Would you give $1,000? Again, all of them shouted, yes. How about $100? Oh, yes. They all agreed they would give $100. Said, would you give just $1 to the ministry? She asked. The boys exclaimed, yes. just as before, except little Johnny. Poor Johnny. Johnny, the teacher said as he noticed the boy clutching to his pocket, why didn't you say yes this time? Well, Johnny said, I have $1 that time. He didn't have the rest of it, but
Yeah.
he won't lose his $1.
Easy to give it away when you really don't have it, right?
If it ain't yours, it's easy to give it away, right?
That's right. That's the way it works in the government, ain't it?
The way most Democrats do it.
Oh,
Did I say I'm sorry?
you said the D word.
I did.
You got to put $1 in the jar.
D jar.
What's he talking about now? He's just kidding. Okay, I'm hearing them 5 by 5. Good deal. We've had some sound issues. I don't know. It's clear over here on my side, but we're hearing
on my side too.
Here's some sound issues about things cutting out from time to time.
Now I know the guys a while ago that were on with us. They were digitizing a little bit, but I know their internet speed out there where they were at was not real well. So we did the best we could with them.
Gotcha.
But they did good.
Yeah. I mean, when you're that far down in Texas, you don't get much internet signal though. We're in the sticks, but they're out in the way back sticks. Ways back sticks. All right, Bible verse for this week. We're going to go ahead and move along here. Therefore, all who devour you shall be devoured, and all of your foes, every one of them, shall go into captivity. Those who plunder you shall be plundered, and all who prey on you, I will make a prey. For I will restore health to you, and your wounds I will heal, declares Lord, because they have called you an outcast. It is Zion for whom no one cares. And that's Jeremiah 30, 16 and 17. And so, the promises of God are found in Scripture, and these promises are made to, of course, the descendants of Abraham. And, a lot of Christians somehow think that those don't apply to us because that's only for Abraham's descendants. But when we accept Jesus as our Lord and Savior, when we become saved through the blood of Christ, we are then grafted into the lineage of Jesus, which is the lineage of Abraham. And so those promises that are made to Abraham and his descendants are now promises to us because we are joint heirs with Christ. And so as joint heirs, all of the Old Testament applies to us as well. So when you read the Scripture, remember that the Old Testament promises are promises to us as well. Now, that means that if we are putting our faith and our trust in Christ, then we're doing what we are called to do as God has called us to do it. And we're letting God fight the battles for us, but we're putting our hope and trust in Him. Then He has promised to restore us. And I can tell you personally, and I've witnessed this before, that when I've been attacked and when I've been maligned and when I've had things said about me that aren't true, when I've been I've been mistreated, and I pray that God would take care of that. And God has proven to me that Jeremiah 30 verses 16 and 17 are true because I have seen God's righteous judgment upon those who have tried to hurt or harm my family or myself, and how He has taken care of that situation much better than I could. And I didn't have to go to jail over it. So let God fight your battles for you. Put your faith in Him and put your faith in Him alone, and read and know the Scriptures. So when you're attacked, and so when you're maligned and when you're called names and when you're told that you're nothing, realize God is in control, and realize that it is important that we know the Bible, know the Scripture, read it and live it, and pray the Scriptures, man. And that way God can show Himself, reveal Himself to you, and become real to you as He has become to me, as in these verses here in Jeremiah 30, 16, and 17. Doug, you want to talk about it?
Yeah, actually, one thing that you had in here, it says, it talks about, I will restore health to you and your wounds I will heal. It kind of goes back to our conversation with Ronnie earlier.
Exactly.
All you got to do is believe and ask for it.
Yep. I tell you, the simplest prayers seem like are the most quickly answered.
Mm-hmm.
The ones where you're in desperate need of God and you cry out, seems like the ones that are immediately answered. And of course, maybe that's because of the sense of the urgency of the prayer. But I know, like we've heard testimony tonight, that injury, how much pain that puts you in. Back injuries are awful. I've had L5, L2 injuries from football. Uh, I was running a play similar to the one it sounds like he was running. I was a pulling guard. 1980 is November, probably around November the 20th, 1980. I was a pulling guard, offensive line, running out, leading the I guess you call it a sweep. We were sweeping around to the outside right. And I came around the outside of the end line, and I turned to make that turn. And I was blocking for the running back. He was off to my right, and I got hit by two guys at the same time, and it jammed my right hip, my right knee, and my ankle just folded over. It just that much impact right at one time. Two people double hit me at the same time. I got up and hobbled off the field on one leg, just sort of hopping on my left leg off the field, and I thought, man, I am in bad shape because I couldn't even move my right leg, and well, the coach is yelling at me, "What are you doing? Get back out there! Get back out there!" I said, "I can't bend my leg." I hop over on the bench, and the coach comes over and grabs a hold of my ankle, and just whack! It pops that hip, that knee, and that ankle all at the same time. It says, "Get back out there!" So I go all the back out, finish the game up. But later on, I found that I have some kind of problem with my right hip. When I lift too much and stuff, it'll still pop out. So my right hip is prone to popping out to this day from an injury from 35 years ago. But football is a dangerous sport. You can get serious, as he's example of. You can get disabled and put in a wheelchair for the rest of your life in one play. So. But I've seen God answer prayer. I mean, I went through a lot of pain in high school. I got speared 3 times my freshman year. I had that bad injury my freshman year. I got speared again my sophomore year. Speared helmet in the middle of your spine, hitting you from behind, illegal play. And I've had injuries for all my life. I've dealt with spinal issues from those days of playing football. I don't send my son to play football. There's no need in getting yourself destroyed over it. Of course, I've done as much damage myself lifting weights, but you got to be careful. But God is faithful. You pray and you put your faith in Him. Now I'll get injuries and I'll get stuff, and you guys have heard it, and I'll pray, and God will take care of it in a few days, usually a week or two at most. And I just trust in God to be my healer, my physician, and so. Well, we've already talked about our main topic, so we are going to go ahead and go down to, we'll be doing the armed citizen. We're going to, some of our sponsors here, we're going to try to get through them real quick. First thing you can do is you can buy some patches and stickers. They're on the Facebook page. There's one of the stickers Doug's got up there. And then we got, of course, patches look like this behind us. So he's got a patch right there handy.
There it is.
He's a Vanna White. He's holding it up there.
I got to remember where the camera's at. There it is.
There you go. So you can order those online. And then let's see. We'll run through these pretty quick. We're not going to keep you guys long, and then we'll get in the armed citizen. All right. So Zija is what I take for pain, because we just got to talk about pain. And I was in bad shape, and our buddy Chris Rogers, who went to school with us, played ball with Doug, called me up sent me a message or something after I hurt myself that last time, or the second time, with injuries, and said, "Hey, try this stuff out," and wouldn't take no money for it. And so I tried it out, and it worked. In 5 days, I was out of pain, where I'd been in excruciating pain for already 6 months. 5 days of taking the Maria oleifera powder in the form of a Smart Mix. I was out of pain. And so if you guys want to know more about that, you can go to godandguns.myzija. It's myzija.com. Find out more about it and communicate with me over there. We're an Antarius Alliance life member. We talked about Antarius Alliance earlier in the show, that they are a group of patriots, first responders, veterans, and just good old patriot people like me. And Doug's, of course, a veteran. But they started up companies, and those companies all sponsor veterans and first responders, charity events and stuff. Go check those guys out at AntariusAlliance.com. And then Oath Keepers, we're an Oath Keepers TV right now, and so we want to make sure we tell you guys about the raffle for the AR-10. There's a link here in the show notes. Just go to oathkeepers.org / and you can find that. It should be on the right side of the page there, and you can find out about Oath Keepers. Doug's showing off a shirt here.
And one of the guys commented, he said, "Like my shirt, my 1776 shirt."
Cool deal.
We the people.
Yeah. All right. And I lost a bunch of weight when I took Zija. Some of you guys have asked about that. There's a free download. You can go to russbianchi.com. There's a link here for that as well. And it's real simple. It's like 3 things you don't want to eat anymore, things you can eat if you're real careful, not very often, and things you can eat pretty much all you want. It's a real simple diet, and I lost 127 pounds in the first 3 months on that, and taking Zija and getting serious about eating right. All right, and you get the rest.
Crossbreed holsters. Hey, you've heard us talk about it. I showed you mine a while ago. There's my Super Tuck Deluxe. It's what I carry. It's what Troy carries, his everyday carry. But they got a holster for you for just about anything that you want to carry, any type gun you want to carry, and pretty much any way. They got the belly band, the Freedom Carry, the drop slide, the Super Tuck Mini. So Crossbreed makes a holster for you. Go check them out. When you find the holster that you'd like to get, use our promo code GNG and get a 10% discount for listening to us. Go check our buddies out, crossbreedholsters.com. Also, Axles and Tactical. I was showing the guys from the night hunting crew, a while ago, my Axles and Tactical. I was telling them about it. You talk about a tack driving rifle. Axles make some precision guns. They make bolt guns. They make long distance guns, ARs, pistols, all kinds of stuff, and they're high quality, and they just work. So go check our buddies out at axelsonusa.com. Use the promo code God and Guns when you find one out there you like, and they'll give you 10% off on it also. And we've already covered PowerTac lights and Palmetto State Armory.
Good deal. All right, Armed Citizen, what we got?
Hey, Armed Citizen, I thought this was cool. I actually caught it on the news down here this week. Comes from Louisville, Kentucky. Married off-duty cop pauses a date night to stop a masked robber. Police have released surveillance video showing exactly what went down when a masked robber found himself in the wrong place at the wrong time. According to court documents, Justin Carter, 30, walked into the Raising Cane's just before 10 p.m. Saturday wearing a mask and armed with a gun. He then demanded cash from one of the employees. What he didn't know is that the 2 married off-duty Elizabethtown police officers were enjoying a date night in a nearby booth. The video shows Detective Chase, how would you pronounce her name? McCowan?
Yeah, I guess so.
McCowan. And his wife, Officer Nicole McCowan, sprang into action. I saw her hands go up, and I'm thinking, is he going to do what I think he's going to do? Nicole McCowan remembered after watching the terrified cashier. We just looked at each other. Is this what's going on? Let's go, Chase McCowan said. Instincts took over, and we just did what we felt was needed to do. With guns drawn, the pair ran the armed man, demanding that he drop his weapon. Carter ran out of the building, dropped his gun at the door, but the couple chased after him. The 2 took him down in the backyard about a block away and waited for officers to arrive. It is my belief, if not for the heroic actions taken by these 2 officers, the perpetrator's actions inside the business would have escalated. Detective Dan Mason said, arrest records say that Carter's firearm was stolen, and he remains in Metro Corrections on a $50,000 cash bond.
Yep.
Hey, so I saw the Bulwark, or buddies at Bulwarks had posted it, or somebody had posted it on the Bulwarks alumni page,
Mm-hmm.
and it was funny. Eric was like, it brought a tear to his eye. I thought he was talking about the date night of the couple taking somebody down. He goes, but did you see him make the V when they spread apart to go take
Yeah.
it down?
Yeah. Well, that's you split up so that you got two targets you got to aim at, so it gives you a better chance to get them. It's just flanking maneuvers. You know how to do that.
You learn that kind of stuff, right?
That's right. Bulwarks will teach you that stuff. Working as a team, they got a class coming up.
They do.
It's a higher level class. Let's see, you've taken the 2-day pistol, didn't you? Or you took the carbine. You haven't taken the pistol class yet.
I haven't taken the pistol yet.
Yeah. After you take, I think you might have to have two levels of pistol before it's like a shoot house 360 dynamic kind of a class coming up. I think it's first week of April coming up. That's going to be exciting. So that one's coming up. There's a force on force class like I took and jacked my shoulder up last year, coming up, or you are doing.
I'm too old to get me getting beat on, dude.
You ain't that much older than me.
I still don't like getting beat on.
I don't like getting beat on either, but I want to learn how to beat on back. The chokeholds was worth the whole thing. Learning how to grab people a certain way, putting pressure on their carotid arteries and stuff to be able to black them out. That's pretty cool. I learned a lot of cool stuff there that is really helpful. So,
dude, when I was a city councilman here in Warner Robins, I went to a Citizens Police Academy, and they were teaching us a bunch of stuff. And I just went because I wanted to go to it and see what they taught, how they did it. So they did a tactics, like that self-defense stuff. One of the guys in there, he's built like a brick outhouse anyway. And of course, when they asked for volunteers to come up, nobody would. So I got volunteered. And man, he wailed on me, and he grabbed me by the shoulders and he'd roll his arms in next to your neck, and the lights would go off for just a second. He'd let off. I was like, whoa.
Yep.
I was like, just don't kill me, please.
Yep. And it's not that hard to learn those tactics. I mean, practicing it on your children's not good at it.
That's it.
Depends on the child, I guess. But no, it's good stuff to know, especially if you're doing security, knowing how to take care of a person without having to shoot them. I mean, I don't want to shoot anybody unless I have to. If I can take them down just by grabbing them a certain way and putting a certain amount of stress on them, I think that's probably the better way to do it. But I am really messing up here. Okay. I'm messing up with stuff. All right. Where are we at now? What are you commenting over there like crazy?
Yep.
She going to keep you straight over there.
Yeah, I know.
All right, we're going to wrap this thing up. If you guys have any other comments, let us know pretty quick because we're going to wrap it up. You got anything else, Doug, before I get into the wrap up?
That's it, man.
All right, so there was something. We were going to talk about the giveaway. Did you figure out how you want to do that?
I'll probably put it on Facebook tomorrow and tell them what they got to do, and then we'll announce the winner on next week's show on the first flashlight. How about that?
That'll work. What else was there? Or something else that I keep meaning to say every week, and I remember it like the next day, and I'm going to have to do that again. All right. Send your feedback to Troy at GunGunsPodcast.com or
Doug at GodandGunsPodcast.com.
Please tell your friends about us. Like us on Facebook at Facebook.com/GodandGunsPodcast. Leave us an iTunes review. That helps out. We appreciate that, guys. Give us a thumbs up on whatever social media you're on. Please share this video. We would appreciate that. All those things help us out. YouTube channel is still alive and kicking. If you're over there, like and subscribe and hit the little ding bell thing so that it sends you a notification. Tonight it's not working because it didn't link for whatever reason. So I don't know, but I will post a show up to YouTube after we get done here. Follow us on Twitter at Guiding Guns Pod. Search for us on Instagram. Like us on MeWe. Make friends with us on MeWe. If we disappear off of all the other social media, you can find us probably on MeWe. Or if nothing else, you can email us our email addresses. And our website is still not working. So,
But we're moving it.
we're moving to a new host, and that will be soon, hopefully. Until next time, Doug, have a blessed week.
And keep your guns close, but keep your Bible closer.
Good night, guys. We appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out there with us and being part of the show. And we will talk to you guys next week. Lord willing, and the creeks don't rise.
Good night.
Good night. And that is.